Welcome back, guys. In this installment, we will also be doing two questions. The first one is, what did they sell for and who bought them? And secondly, how much do you want to sell for? If you want to know the answers, stick with me now, and I'll tell you.
Ask Alex. Ask Alex. Because you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't know, now you know.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's do the first one now. Now, the question is, what did they sell for and who bought them? Now, what does investor mean? If you are asked a question like this, like what someone got bought for and by whom, you already knee deep into a discussion and you have the investor engaged in you or with you, at least for now, okay? But if they're asking detailed questions like this, it means one of two things still, okay? Got a bad one, and you got the good one, all right? Do you want to go with the bad first? Bad? Let's go with that one. Okay. Now, either they are still concerned that there are potential issues around acquirers. Secondly, the good option is they are actually enjoying talking to you and learning, right? Doesn't mean they're going to give you money, but they don't think you're an idiot, okay? Do you know your industry? Are you an insider? Are you an expert? Hell, do you even read TechCrunch to know what's going on or whatever industry journal you have? Look, as I said, this is a follow-up question to a conversation you are having. If you haven't established any credibility, then it's an exam. Now, do you pass? Or do you fail? Alternatively, you're just having a conversation and the investor wants to learn from you. Okay? Investors love to learn and pump you for all the information that you have, especially if it's private information. Now, if you have insights into deals and non-public information, you're credible, right? This isn't going to get you investment, as I said, but it's establishing rapport and cementing you as an expert that knows everything about their business, right? Because investors are not going to do the execution. They're basically giving you money for you to go off and do it, right? And so they want you to know more than them. Now, I recommend knowing what goes on in your industry, who gets bought, and what the deal terms are. The more important deal terms are going to be things like exit value, the acquisition multiple of revenue, or GMV, right? I'm going to cover all this multiple stuff in a different episode, I think, maybe 2 or 3 more. Okay, anyway, we'll skip the multiple stuff for now. Now, the only word of caution here is that time is ticking, okay? If you are in a first meeting, then you need to steer the conversation back to the key things that you need to communicate in order to get a second meeting, okay? I would answer briefly and then say, Jim, I would love to grab a beer and chat about deals if you're interested, but I'm also conscious that time is ticking. And I'd love to give you, a demo of our platform before we need to run to our next meeting. Does that sound okay? Okay, so how would you answer this question potentially? Well, you could say, well, we know Bob in Corp Dev. He told us some things in confidence that, well, we can't really share. What we can say is the founders were quite happy with the deal, and so were the investors. Khaki Capital may have actually even returned the fund to them, but I can't comment. Now, I'd love to chat more on this, but I'm conscious we only have 20 minutes left, and I'd love to run you through our metrics, which are pretty awesome, and give you a real quick demo about how our product works, right? We'll just show you the most used features. Does that make sense? Okay, guys. Second question in this installment. How much do you want to sell for? Do you know? I bet you don't. So what does investor mean when they ask this? Now, this question is not what you think it is. It's not just a number. It carries a lot of baggage that you might not be aware of, because VC is a hit-based business, right? Investors don't make money from $20 million acquisitions. Yes, 20 million is a lot of money for most people, but that's why investors and founders are at odds. Right? I've written a great blog on this, which you should read. I'll put it in link below or show notes for you. Read this to understand more. Okay, it's called A Meaningful Startup Exit Strategy is not the same thing for venture capital, because it's not, right? You guys are not lying, and the VCs definitely don't have your back. VCs don't invest in a lifestyle business. They need you to be really big, like really big. Of that, okay? Don't do any of these stupid things like saying, oh, we just want to sell for like 10, 15 million. It's not a VC case, okay? Maybe an angel case, not a VC case. A simple rule of thumb is you need to earn them the size of their fund. So if they own 15% of you at your exit, yes, and the fund is 15 million, then your exit needs to be the 333 million, bitches. Seriously? Yes. Now, if you're pitching one of the top tier funds, it will need to be a lot larger to make it matter to them. Fancy having someone great like Sequoia? Well, they have billion-dollar funds. So for a billion-dollar fund, you need to be really shooting for a, drum roll please, $6.7 billion exit. Depending on how much they own, of course, right? Which is more likely to be than the sort of 15-ish% that I mentioned before, since they'll probably triple down on you if you're working, right? Which means investing in subsequent rounds of funding, okay? Never, ever tell a VC that you want to sell for a measly number like 50 million that I said. Keep driving this into your head. It's just not interesting to them. Understand this dynamic. Angels are a bit different, yes, if you're kind of wondering that, right? If you exit early, aiming for a few million, and you only raised a few $100K, then that can be a fab exit for them. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if you do it pretty fast. In general, I would always pitch a big exit from your big idea. In the monster market you have, it's just safer. Just don't be delusional if you're running a sandwich stand, right? Oh, you know, come fund me. Unless you think you're gonna be the next Subway. Okay, so how would you answer this question if a VC asked you, right? You need to want to sell for a large amount, right? Selling for $1 billion is a very loaded answer though, okay? So be careful because as I said, I think in the 2 episodes ago, the pool, potential pool of acquirers for $1 billion is not that many. So sure, you want to get $1 billion, just know how to back that up, okay? So how would you answer this? As usual, this is a quick example from me. We love our mission to solve on-demand carrots, yes. But we aren't a charity, no, no, no. And we want to be rewarded for delivering orange happiness to the masses. Other companies in the space have sold for nearly $1 billion, and others for hundreds of millions. We'd be happy to sell for 200 million, about 4 years, at probably like a 2x multiple of GMV. I think on the conservative side. Of course, look, a lot has to go right for us to be unicorn. I know it's cliche, but the market for carrots is big enough to support an exit for that in about 7 years. It just is. People love carrots. Now, I think we would all be delighted if that was achieved together. I mean, don't you agree? Hey guys, that's those 2 questions ticked off. I hope that was useful to kind of rounding out your knowledge as well as help you kind of think through your questions. If you liked it, feel free to share with your dog and your friends and even your mother. I bet she'll love it, the minx. Okay, see you guys. Bye.